Hey guys, this is SoulRack333 with another review. Not really, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Here are my Star Wars Black Series Captain Phasma, Captain Cardinal, Commander Pyre, and a whole bunch of First Order troops. And basically what I have here is the trimming down of my Disney Star Wars collection. Disney and Kathleen Kennedy have totally destroyed Star Wars. They have killed it. Star Wars is dead. I just no longer care about anything they do, and I love Star Wars. I grew up watching Star Wars. I remember when there was only 3 films, and that was it. And it was always fun watching those 3 movies. And when I finally got them on VHS, it was just awesome to watch them over and over again. I remember it was a big deal to have a little marathon and just watch all 3 movies in a row. You know, and anytime you went to either I don't know, a record store or like a Sam Goody or anything like that, and they would just be playing Star Wars. It was like, ooh, Star Wars. And this is before the prequels came out. Prequels were fine. I mean, I didn't hate them. I was just disappointed with them. Because there was a lot of stuff that went against what the original series set up. You know, little things like, tell me about your mother. I remember her being sad. Well, she died at childbirth. So how do you remember that? And I guess you now have to make mental gymnastics. Well, they were connected with the Force and bullshit. That implied that Leia knew her mother, that for a brief period they lived together, and just things like that, you know. And then how the original trilogy had a certain look, you know, maybe because the film, the camera they used to film the movie, and then when you get to the prequels, you know, it was all digital, blue screen. It looked polished. I don't know. My mental gymnastics is that, well, it's 30 years prior to the original, you know, 20 years prior. So they were still at the height of the Republic. Things were still prosperous. And then when Anakin is now a Jedi, he's just hanging around rich people all the time. So he's just seeing the rich side of the galaxy. And then by the time you get to Luke, farm boy, we're seeing the grittier side of the galaxy, you know, so we don't see the rich side. Alright, I guess. You know, but by the time you get to the sequel films, you know, we were so excited. And then just, I don't know. I liked each movie as they came out, but something still felt off, and I didn't know what it was. There were a lot of people that were, you know, just screaming, you know, Mary Sue this and all of this stuff, and I heard it. You know, but I guess I just wanted to wait and see what the entire trilogy would be like. And by the time you get to the Rise of Skywalker, I was just like, eh. You know, a lot of people were pissed off. I wasn't pissed off. I'm pissed off now, only because of finding out what the behind the scenes were like. And those people who were upset back then, I think they already knew. I don't follow producers and writers and directors, so, you know, I think I should. I am like that with music, like, oh, who's in the band? Oh, that guy's in the band? fuck it, I'm not buying that album. You know, that sort of thing. Who's producing it? Fuck it, I'm not buying that album. But with comic books, TV shows, and movies, I really don't follow producers and, you know, actors. You know, so if there's an actor in a movie that I don't like, okay, I'm not going to watch that movie. But I think I need to start paying attention to writers, producers, directors. But man, they totally fucked up Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Willow. And so I'm done. And we keep hoping that Kathleen Kennedy quits or gets fired, but every chance they've had to remove her, they never did. You know, whether it's in her contract or what, but they just never did. And at this point, who cares? Even if she leaves today, the damage has been done, because her people will probably still work there. The only way to repair Star Wars is to fire her. Send the signal that she has been fired, and fire everyone that's there. They need a clean house. And then that's not enough. Once everyone is fired, they need to willow the entire Disney Star Wars. All of it. The sequel trilogy. The standalone films. I love Rogue One. And I actually liked the Solo movie. That's a movie no one wanted, but when I saw it in theaters, I liked it. You know, I had high hopes, not for a Solo 2, but another standalone movie that would kind of connect it. Like, in my mind, okay, it'd be neat to see the Solo movie, and then the next movie, I even forgot what my thoughts were. Continue the Crimson Dawn. Make it a Crimson Dawn trilogy. Doesn't need Han Solo, but follow maybe Kira's path. You know, with Darth Maul. Make it, and Solo would have been the first part of a Crimson Dawn trilogy. A Boba Fett movie could have been part 2. I don't know. But that's what I was hoping that would happen. And then I don't care for any of the Disney Plus shows. I don't want Star Wars to be a TV show. I was never excited for any of it. I don't care how good The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 were. The Mandalorian was going to be the Boba Fett movie. That's basically what was going to happen. But they were not allowed. They weren't going to do Boba Fett movie. They canceled that. And then they didn't want them to use Boba Fett. And so they just made up The Mandalorian. And all of the plot points that you see in that season 1 is stuff I heard about for the Boba Fett movie. And so I watched The Mandalorian with Boba Fett in mind. And then, you know, the end of season 2, that was cool. But again, you're going to waste a Luke Skywalker appearance on the final 5 minutes of a TV show? That's just a waste. I don't care how good that was. Plus, in season 2, there's a little Snoke Easter egg. So, everything is going to lead to the sequels. Hello, Lilith. So, I'm not excited for any of it. Andor was just boring. The only positive I can say of Andor is at least it wasn't bad. There was, at no point in that series did my eyes roll because of how bad it was. I just wasn't excited. I just didn't care. We know Andor dies in the movie. Why would you make an entire series about him? You know, At no time watching Rogue One did I go, ooh, I'd like to know more of these characters. If anything, Andor should have been a novel. You know, there are two Rogue One prequel novels. You have the Jyn Erso book, which says exactly what happened to her being raised by Saw Gerrera up until she meets up with Andor. And then you have the Catalyst book, which talks about her father. Hey, here you go. So to me, Andor should have been this book. You know, I mean, the TV show was just boring, and I like the world building that you see in that series. The world building is awesome, but I'm just imagining, what if you had Luke Skywalker fighting some future Sith Lord in any of those locations? Imagine a lightsaber duel at a public square with, you know, civilians watching in awe, like, what the hell is this? You know, Luke is trying to fight the enemy while also trying to protect the civilians, you know. And like I said, they could announce the best thing ever with Star Wars right now, and I would not care. They really need to clean house. Fire Kathleen Kennedy. Fire everyone that's still left at Lucasfilm. Hire new people that know and love Star Wars. The love Star Wars part, respect Star Wars, because they keep going back to the Wrath of Khan, where apparently the writer for that film was not a Star Trek fan. In fact, I think he even hated Star Trek, but he was a professional. Once he was hired, he watched the series to get a feel for what Star Trek is, and the episode he was drawn to was the one with Khan. So he was a professional. He didn't shit on Star Wars. He didn't Star Trek. He didn't make Star Trek something it was not. You know, he didn't insert his own views. You know, he used his craft as a writer to come up with something great. And all Lucasfilm seemed to do is hire people that hate Star Wars and just want to make shit up. You know, because that's the other thing they keep saying. Well, the original trilogy had no plan. There was a plan. And it's okay to make changes along the way if you have a better idea. They weren't just making shit up. You know, like, hey, you know. So, fire everyone, clean house, throw everything away, put everything in, just willow everything, and start from there. Because again, if they don't willow the entire Disney Star Wars, everything still leads to the sequels. As to what they do afterwards, do a new episode 7, 8, 9. It can either be the Thrawn trilogy, and if they do that, then yes, that means recasting Han, Luke, and Leia, and Lando. I don't mind. At this point, I don't mind. Recast everyone. Mark Hamill can coach whoever the young Luke Skywalker will be. You know, this is how Luke would act. This, you know, or I don't know. You're still gonna have to recast Leia if you do an older. And then does Harrison Ford even want to come back? You know, at this point, I think he's really old. So, and if you don't want to touch a new sequel film with Han, Luke, and Leia, then what you can do, maybe create new sagas, new episodes, 1s, 2, 3s, and each saga will be its own self-contained Star Wars story, set during different time periods. You know, the way episode 6 ends, Skywalker wins. The galaxy wins. and we don't need to see what happened the next day, you know. And so you can have a brand new saga about something completely different set in that universe in any time period, and if it's not connected to the Skywalkers, then no one will be upset that it's a whole new cast of characters set 100 years before or 100 years after. If it's 100 years after, have the balls to say it's Cade Skywalker. You know, and you don't have to say what happened within those 100 years, other than Cade was born, and there's a new, younger generation of Jedi. So, it would be neat to see maybe Hayden Christensen come back as Anakin Skywalker with young Ahsoka, and that could be its own little trilogy. Them fighting in the Clone Wars. A battle we haven't seen, or a live action version that goes more in depth into one of the episodes in the Clone Wars. I don't know. It'd be neat to see that. It'd be neat to see any of the Star Wars video game cinematics that you see online that look awesome. Bring any one of those stories to life. I don't know. Anyway, I can go on and on. It's been like 16 and a half minutes of me rambling about why I'm selling all of my Disney Star Wars crap. I already started doing it. I already sold these 3. I hope to go to a good home. She was a waste. I have the Captain Phasma book. He was a waste. He was in the god-awful Resistance show. That show was garbage. So, and then I don't even want to see First Order Stormtroopers in my collection. So, and it's funny. I sold these 3. All of these First Order figures did not sell. So now I'm just going to sell them as a lot. I don't care if the whole lot sells for like 20 bucks. I just want to get rid of them. Then I'm going to go through my Star Wars novels, sell most of them, because I started collecting when Disney purchased them. I'll keep some. I love Lords of the Sith. I love Lost Stars. The Tarkin book is good. The Leia books are good. The Aftermath book series is shit. The Phasma book, I'm looking right at it. I'm going to sell those. Again, I'm just going to... And I have books that I haven't even read. I haven't read... Oh, there's the New Dawn book, the prequel to the Rebel series. That was just stupid. The cover is misleading. The cover has... What's his face? Kanan with a lightsaber, and he never once lights up his lightsaber in the book. It just shows how he met Hera. There's a villain in that book that was pretty cool. I forget his name. He was kind of a Darth Vader stand-in, but oh, and those books made it seem like they would connect to the movies in some way, but they didn't connect. They had no fucking plan. The books really highlighted Jakku, and so and one of the books has the Star Destroyer on the cover, crashed on a planet. It makes you think, oh wow, we now know what that was. The only reference to Jakku is in The Force Awakens, and they never even go back to that. So all of the setup in Jakku was just a waste. It's all shit. Anyway, I'm getting 20 minutes into this video. Yeah, I'm gonna sell all of my Star Wars Black Series Disney film garbage. I just don't want to see them in my collection. I'm gonna focus on just the parts of Star Wars that I love, and even parts of the prequels, like getting the Jedis. I think it'd be cool to have my Jedi, my alien Jedi, and I don't even want to customize these. That's the other thing. Oh, what if I custom? Nope. I think they're not worth customizing. So, oh well. Anyway, thanks for watching.